Hey everyone, John Hartley. I want to thank uh, those of you who sent me messages wondering where I was and uh, hoping I'd make more videos. So I got some coins in the mail recently. This one came today. This one's been here a while, and this is a big uh, addition to my collection. So I decided to make a video after 6 months being away. But first, I'm going to explain to you uh, where I've been. I have other hobbies, and one of them started when I found my dad's old, got no light up here, so I have to show it to you this way. And I'm using a flashlight with one hand, so I can't zoom in on it. But my grandfather sent that Arisaka Type 99 Japanese rifle from the Philippines to my dad. Well, I found it out in my dad's shop after he passed away, and it was rusted. And I completely refinished it, cleaned the stock, put new spring pack in it and everything like that. I'm sorry the camera's shaky, but this camera's getting heavy. And that got me started. I was the department armorer for sheriff's office before I retired. I already had an interest in guns and working on them. So that started an interest in World War II weapons. And a friend of mine, he's actually one of those guys who's so close to the family you call him an uncle. He had an M1 Carbine like this, and I got to shoot it. So that lit the fire even more, and I started searching for it. And this is a 1934 re-arsenaled M1 carbine. And when I say re-arsenaled, that means that once they came home from war, they went back to a U.S. Army arsenal where they were re-parkerized. Parkerized is a type of finish on the metal, and new parts were put on them and things like that. And so I got this one. It is in beautiful shape. These things are not inexpensive, so that's why I haven't been buying coins for a while. I bought another gun in between that one and this one, but it's over on the kitchen counter. This is a 1945, March 1945 to be specific, M1 Garand. And this thing is pristine. And the way I look at it, or what I think, no history came with the gun, is that in March 45, the war's almost over. This gun was produced at Springfield Armory in Massachusetts in March of 1945. So this gun never made it to war, even though these guns were issued to soldiers after the war. But this Garand, the most worn part on it is the butt plate, and that's when you put a rifle in a rack. That's the part that touches the ground. That's the only part on this weapon that's worn, marked, scarred, tattooed, or what have you. It's a beautiful weapon. The stock is perfect. All the markings on the stock are perfect. It has not been re-arsenaled. It is original from the day it was born. The M1 Grand fires a 30-06 Springfield round, very powerful bullet, and it shoots them out of these what are called en-bloc clips. And you have 8 rounds in the clip. After the last shot, the clip flies up out of the gun, the empty clip, and you stick another one down in it, throw the bolt home, and you're ready to fire some more. These are all legal to own. They're all prior property of the United States government, but they are not fully automatic weapons. They're semi-automatic weapons. I don't have a license to own fully automatic weapons. So the gun I got between the carbine you just saw and the Grand, wait a second, with those two guns, for the carbine, this is the bayonet for the M1 Carbine. And this longer item, even though they shortened them up in later years, that is the bayonet for the Grand that you just saw. So now in between those two guns, I obtained a 1943 Colt 1911 A1 that has been re-arsenaled. The original parkerized finish of these weapons had a green tint to them, but when they came home from war, this is 1943, so this one probably did see action overseas. But it came back, and some of the markings that you can't see from this camera, the markings were show that it went to Anniston, Alabama Army Depot, where it was reworked, and it has a new finish on it. Everything else is original. The grips are period type. And when they re-arsenal 1911s, they would take them apart and they would throw the slide into a box full of slides, and they throw the frame in the box of the frames, and when they re-parkerize those things, they just throw them back together, because these guns were made to fire. I mean, you could mix and match parts. You could take any part out of this gun and throw another part into it if it broke, and it would fire. Great innovation, because you can fix them on the battlefield. Unlike the next gun that I just got a couple of weeks ago. And this is the most expensive. And some people are sensitive to this. This is a German weapon. So if you don't like German, not Germans, but if you don't like the Nazi Party, which I do not, and you're offended by it, stop the channel right now or fast forward till we get to the coins. But this is a 1939, which is the year World War II started. When Hitler invaded Poland, the next day the UK and France declared war on Germany, and that's when World War II started. So this gun was built that year. This is a Mauser. Manufacturer is Mauser. The gun is called a Luger, and this gun is empty. Completely empty. And this has complete matching numbers. I'm covering up the first two letters of the serial number, but the last two letters are a 4 and a 1. And right here is a 4-1, and up here is a 4-1. This is 1939, the date it was made. Here is a 41. All on the inside of this gun is 41. And some people get mistaken. They think 42 is the year it was built. After World War I, Germany was not allowed to have but so many men in its army, and they were not allowed to produce so many firearms. So instead of putting a Luger on top of the gun, or DMW, or DWM, excuse me, which is one of the old manufacturers of this firearm, they put a code number on it, 42, in case they were caught making them. Mauser could say, "We didn't make that gun." Nowhere on it is written Mauser, and they kept very poor records. Unlike the American guns that I have, you can't look up the serial number and find the exact month of production. Where on the 3 American guns I showed you just now, you can look it up on a website to the exact month and year that gun was made. So this is a 39. The Colt pistol I just showed you is a 43. The M1 Garand is a 45, and the M1 Carbine over there is a 43. So they're all World War II guns, as are the bayonets that go with those 2 rifles. And I do have bayonets for that Japanese gun too. They were brought home by my grandfather from the Philippines as well. Daddy used to tell the story that he came home and there was a great big old crate, and he opened it up and he had an Arisaka type 99 Japanese rifle that had been taken from the battlefield in the South Pacific. And it's good that he got that rifle, because on the top of the receiver, the Imperial chrysanthemum is stamped, and anything stamped with that chrysanthemum means it belongs to the emperor. Well, at the end of World War II, MacArthur was in charge of getting Japan back on its feet. And he didn't want to disgrace the emperor, but he was going to let soldiers bring home souvenir rifles. And so they had to deface or completely grind off that chrysanthemum if they took that rifle home from Japan. Hundreds of thousands of them were put on barges and taken out in Tokyo Bay and dumped in the barge. And so that gun has the chrysanthemum on it completely non-defaced whatsoever. So it's a great collector's item. When I found it in the shop, it was rusty. I don't know why Daddy put it out there. He loved fine guns. I guess he just wasn't interested in World War II guns. But I refinished it, reworked it, like I said, put new springs in it, and I found a company that manufactures obsolete rounds. The round is, and this is not a racist remark, this is what it may be racist from the people who created the name of the round, but it's called a 7.7 millimeter Jap. and I forgot where it was going. Oh, my daddy said that he and his best friend, Roy, found a 7mm round. And even though it's not marked on the gun, they knew it was a 7mm or something. The bullet fit in. And I asked him, my dad, and they found one bullet. And this is back in the 40s. I said, well, what did it do? He said, let me put it this way, we never shot it again. Well, I found the round, modern manufacturer, and the weapon shoots beautifully. Smooth, the bolt action works great and all that. So that's where I've been. I've been buying guns over the last 6 months. A lot of it from my stimulus checks, and some of it from a lawsuit I won against the county that canceled my insurance benefits after I retired from them for 27 years. We sued them because they took away our benefits. So I bought a lot of these guns with that money. So let's get to the coins. If you don't like guns, I'm sorry you had to put up with all that. I was going to say at the beginning of the video, if you don't like guns, fast forward till you start seeing me pull out coins. This came out a while back, the Krista McCullough commemorative. I didn't do a video on it on time, so it's already opened. And Krista McCullough, as you know, was a teacher that went on the Space Shuttle Challenger and died. And the obverse is nice. I like it. Yeah, I finally figured out the focus setting on this camera for video, so it almost completely focuses. But I like the obverse. I'm not really crazy about the reverse, but the obverse has a good likeness of Miss McCullough. So that is just me continuing to complete my modern silver dollar commemorative coins. But this next coin is, I gotta go over here and get my little tool. I bought a new tool, saw it on Amazon, and it's a Gerber. They make really good knives. But it's a keychain tool, my house key and my Jeep key. And if I can figure out which way it opens, yeah, there it goes. It's basically a Leatherman's tool. It's got all kind of blades and scissors and toothpicks and all that other stuff that comes out. This part down here is a bottle opener, if you like to drink beer. And so I use it to open boxes now, because boxes and packages, it has this little blade right here that's a little hook, and it won't rip into something you don't want it to, because this part is not sharp. The sharp part is down there. Let's see where I think this will be the best way to get into it. And it's pretty doggone sharp. Almost knocked over my camera. There we go. I always say peel it apart, and it never peels apart right. As many of you know, if you followed my channel, one of my favorite coins to collect are early commemorative silver dollar, or excuse me, half dollar, early commemorative half dollars. And this one is the last one I needed to complete the collection. And it was the second hardest or second most expensive coin to buy. It is the Hudson. And it's funny, PCGS, most of the time they put the date up here where it says Hudson, and below the grade they'll put Hudson. But for some reason, and I saw it on several others that were listed on eBay, they put Hudson and no date. And some people think that since it says 1735 to 1935, that it's a no-date coin. Well, it's not a no-date coin. The 1935 was the year it was issued. This has the obverse, and some people call it the reverse. There was a lot of weirdness about early commemoratives, which side is the obverse, which side is the reverse. Sometimes it's obvious, sometimes you don't know. But this is the seal of Hudson, New York, and has Poseidon and his trident. He's riding a whale, and over here, I don't know how close that's going to focus in. Over here is a mermaid blowing a conch shell. This is CAC certified. And on what I call the reverse is the ship that Hudson crossed the Atlantic in. It's called the Half Moon, and that's why up here in the left-hand corner is a kind of comical-looking crescent moon. This coin was sold by the Hudson Committee on the commemorative coin. There's an actual committee for this coin. And Hudson's a very small town, and it was kind of unusual for a small town like Hudson to get their own commemorative coin in the first place. But in 35, that was the year that they really started giving anybody who could talk to a congressman anybody could get a commemorative coin. They only made 10,008 of these. There was a limit on the legislation of 10,000 coins. Excuse me. The 8 were assay coins. I don't know if those 8 all survived or not, because sometimes assay coins are cut apart so they could tell if they have 90% silver. So that completes, wow, more than 10-year journey of collecting early commemorative half dollars. The hardest one was the Hawaii, and I got it on an online, live online auction. Excuse me. And I just watched a video the other day. One of my stacking friends, some of you may know him, a lot of you probably know him, Big Stack McGee, he bought 2 early commemoratives, and he says, I am going to start a collection of early commemoratives. And Big Stack, it is a undertaking. It is fun, and I wish you luck, but it is quite an undertaking. I just want to point out, one of my favorite things to watch on YouTube, other than coins, is for some reason, and I live in a small town, but I wasn't raised on a farm. I was raised inside the city limits. My dad was a contractor, a general contractor. He built hotels, hospitals, stuff like that. But I like watching farming videos, and 4 of the channels I watch are female farmers. There's Tara Beaver Coronado. She owns a winery, or she owns a vineyard in Northern California. I watch Laura Farms. She's out in Nebraska. And I watch Erin Holbert, and I think she's in Indiana. But the New York Farm Girls are New York. And they're like 17, 19, and 21, all pretty girls. And they all have some sort of part in their father and I believe uncle and grandfather's farm. And so I bought a decal. They sell decals, they sell t-shirts and all that. And sometimes it's just farming videos, and sometimes the girls are funny. And they aren't hard to look at. They're pretty girls. So JoJo and that's embarrassing. JoJo's the youngest, and I'm having a brain malfunction on the names of the other 2 girls, and I've been watching them for more than a year. But I put them in my background here, told them I'd give them a shout out. Y'all go watch the New York Farm Girls on YouTube. They have a dairy farm in New York, and it's a cool channel. Well, I think I'm going to do next week sometime, because tomorrow is full. I just got bullets in for my Luger 9mm Parabellum, and they named it Parabellum because Parabellum is Latin from a phrase that if you want peace, prepare for war. Prepare for war is Parabellum in Latin, or Parabellum is Latin for prepare for war. So I just got the bullets in, and I'm going out to the country to a friend's farm and shoot my new gun for the first time. And I didn't show you the magazine. That's the magazine that goes in it. The magazine is loaded. Of course, it doesn't do any good. It won't hurt you until I put it in the gun and rack around into the chamber and pull the trigger. So it is harmless. So sorry I've been away. I don't know if I'm back full time or not. There's only a few coins that I'm interested in right now. I'm interested in the upcoming programs for the 2021 Morgan dollars and the 2021 Peace dollar. And I still have to finish my Washington quarter collection. I have 2 left, the hardest 2, obviously. And eventually I'd like to get a Lafayette early commemorative silver dollar, but it's more expensive than this one, and that one was expensive. So, excuse me, my voice is getting a little raspy tonight. I'm filming this at midnight. My hours are all screwed up. So if you would please click on that subscribe nickel in the bottom right hand